What's happening, y'all? Rich Sosa coming back at you with another video today. And before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank the Lord above, King Jesus, for another day and another opportunity. So comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I'll definitely be sure to get back to you with a response. So as you can see from the looks of the thumbnail, titled with Screen Man, today we're going to be creating the edge enforcing bulldozer build in NBA 2K26, and you know, this is probably one of the best builds that I've created this year, especially when it comes towards being able to do a little bit of everything. And look at these strengths. It reads muscles through defenders, elite timing on blocks, very effective defensive rebounder, poster threat in transition, and of course, no big weaknesses to report. And even look at these shades of Evan Mobley, Anthony Davis, and Josh Smith. And on top of that, bro, these top attributes today are going to be the strength, perimeter defense, and blocks. So y'all know that I got y'all locked in with one of the best builds that you can possibly make this year. And y'all know that I love finding these rare build names with no weaknesses, and I'm going to continue to do so. This is about the 34th build that we've created together on this channel. And if you enjoyed this one today, man, I guarantee y'all that you're going to go ahead and enjoy the others that I've already made. So be sure to check them out. And you know, before we move any further, man, I do want to open up with a little scripture. And this one's going to be reading from the book of John 14, verse 6. Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And you know, this is just a small but powerful message that I want to share out to my community, and I want to push out to the 2K community, bro, to let y'all know that, you know, to put out the word of God out there, bro, to let you know that if you put your faith in him, if you reach your hand out to him, bro, I guarantee you everything that you're worried about in your life is just going to disappear. And if you place it in the Lord's hands, bro, Jesus Christ, everything will be taken care of. And that's just a message that I really want to push out to my community, bro, to let y'all know that Jesus Christ, you know, his favor is available to everybody who, you know, seeks him, man. And that's what I aim to do on every single video, is to bring y'all closer to God, Jesus Christ, in any way that I possibly can, especially in this 2K community, man. Y'all know how it can be for those of you who have been around for some years, man. And I just really want to be one good, you know, positive example of being able to share that message of God, bro, the word, the gospel of Jesus Christ, man. So I just want to be an example, and I really appreciate every single one of y'all tuning in every single day. We're about to be at 25,000 big supporters this holiday season, so you know, man, be sure to stay tuned for that. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you know, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the Rich family. Now from here, man, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this build today. So to start out, we're going to put this build under that power forward position. As far as when it comes towards that height, I'm going to put this to 6'8", 237 when it comes towards our weight. And then for that wingspan, I'm going to put this up to 7'1". As far as when it comes towards our body shapes today, we get toned. You're also going to be able to get buff and stocky. Now, moving with this build, the first area that I like to start out every single archetype with is going to be these physicals. So I'm going to put that speed all the way up to an 80. As far as when we get into that agility, I'm going to go up to an 80 here as well. Now into that strength, let's go with a 90. Moving into the breakdown of that vertical, you know, I do this on a lot of my builds. I'm going to go with a 79, you know, just to get that threshold of an 80. As far as once we get into that rebounding on the defensive side, I'm going to go up to an 85. Moving into that offensive, I'm going to put this all the way up to a 70. So I'm going to start, you know, I'm going to go back from the defense all the way up to the finishing. Now, once we look at this side of the ball, I'm going to go with a 74 interior defense. Looking at that perimeter, I'm going to go with an 87. As we get to the breakdown of that steel, man, you know, I'm going to go with a 60. I don't want to go anything higher than this because I know that on this build, bro, I'm going to be able to play straight up on ball defense and be able to still defend on the interior. So I'm going to go up to an 87 once we get into that block. This is what we're going to be looking like for the physicals and the defensive side, man. Now, I promise you we're an 82 overall. We still got a whole lot of, you know, attributes left over for that offensive side, so don't worry. But as far as for this end, you know, I'm pretty happy because you get a lot of badges on the gold tier and silver that you can really boost to that Hall of Famer legend. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Now, getting into that pass accuracy, I'm going to put this up to a 71. I think, you know, that's a sweet spot this year. As far as for that ball handle, let's go up to a 73. The speed with ball, let's go up to a 68 to get lightning launch. Now, the playmaking itself, you know, if you don't know how to dribble yet, I got a few other videos on my channel that you can definitely check out, learning how to dribble with at least a 70 ball handle. Now, as far as when it comes towards the shooting today, I'm going to go with a 70 for that mid-range shot. The three-pointer, I want to put this up to a 78 just to be, you know, more reliable threat on the outside. Now the free throw, I'm going to leave this at a 58, man. I'm not going to go anything higher. If you want to change this, you know, use these attributes towards another area, you can do so, but I'm going to leave it like this. Now, let's wrap up everything with the finishing. So we're going to go with a 75 for that close shot. The driving layup, I'm going to go with a 75 here as well. Once we get into that driving dunk, make sure you go with an 85. And then moving into that standing dunk, put this up to a 72. And wrapping up everything with that post control, let's go with a 77. Once you get this build maxed out to a 99 overall, this is what we should be looking like. I gotta say, this build is super well balanced when it comes towards that finishing and defense. Even when you look at the rebounding and the physicals, you know, the playmaking, I think comparing this to the shooting and playmaking, the rest of the build, I really gotta say this is gonna be for those players out there who are truly skillful, who know how to dribble with lower ball handle ratings, and can also shoot with, you know, a lower 3-point rating as well. In previous years, man, it's always been a common trend that throughout the year, you're able to shoot with even as low as a 50 to 25 3-point rating. It's crazy, man. It happens every single year. So I think with a 78, considering how overpowered rhythm shooting is, I think this is going to be a very viable build throughout the rest of the year. And this goes without saying before, you know, using cap breakers, the max plus ones, the max plus twos. So a few areas that I do want to look at. So once you look at these badges, you know, you get box out beast. You're also going to get immovable enforcer. You get aerial wizard with pogo stick. Strong handle, the Hall of Fame, we do get off-ball pass, now the silver. We're going to get high flying denier with hook specialist, paint patroller, slippery off-ball, then we get post-up poet. From there you also get post powerhouse, brick wall with dimer. On tier 1 you get silver pick dodger, challenger, on-ball menace, set shot specialist, and rebound chaser. Now for the bronze we get interceptor, shifty shooter. You're also going to get break starter, deadeye, physical finisher, unpluckable, versatile visionary with posterizer, handles for days. From there we're also getting post fade phenom, post lockdown layup mix master, lightning launch, which I already went over. Then we get float game, rise up, and paint prodigy. Now realistically, if you're going to be using this build, man, I would highly recommend specializing in that defensive end. So let's just go ahead and say that you do decide to use 2 cap breakers put towards the perimeter defense and 1 put towards that strength. You're going to be able to get Hall of Fame immovable enforcer. Now on top of that, if you're specializing in defense, bro, you're going to be able to boost that with a max plus 1 getting into legend, and that's probably the best defensive badge this year. Now as far as when it comes towards using the rest of the, you know, the max plus 1s, the max plus 2s, the cap breakers, I would go ahead and aim towards that block next. So if you wanted to get high flying denier on the gold tier, 1 cap breaker put towards that block. Same thing when it comes towards that vertical. You're going to be able to get high flying denier on that gold tier, use a max plus 2 to get it to legend. And that's going to allow you to get 2 of the best defensive badges in the game on the legends here with the max plus 1 and a max plus 2 if you do decide to specialize in defense, man. So I truly think this is probably going to be a nasty lockdown build that can pretty much still be a threat on the outside. So looking at the rest of the build when it comes towards the playmaking, you know, there's a few other badges that I would consider, like a max plus 1, putting it towards, you know, strong handle to get those cheesy animations for Hall of Fame. And even if you wanted to use a max plus 2 on on-ball menace, the thing about it here is that once you use those cap breakers, you know, it's all going to come down to if you do decide to go with the 91 perimeter defense or leave it at an 89. I would go with the 91 just so that way you can use a max plus 2 on ball menace to get it to legend. As far as when it comes towards challenger, you know, there's so many different possibilities with this build. You know, at the height of 6'8", I gotta say, focus primarily on the defensive badges. From there, you could start looking into set shot specialist. If you wanted to look into rebound chaser, you know, it's all going to come down to your preference and play style. But realistically, I think this is a perfect setup to go with. And if you do decide to use 2 cap breakers put towards that driving dunk, you're going to be able to get the pro contact dunks, the first level. So I think this is a build that's going to be super nice to use throughout the year. You really don't have to worry about grinding too much out of it, especially if you grind it up to a 99 off rip. I want to know your thoughts and opinions. Is there anything that you potentially would change? I know a lot of y'all have been using the cap breakers to get that ball handle up to about an 85 and 86. I'm not going to do that with this one. I wanted to focus more on the defense. Before these takeovers, as you can see, we're going to get lethal layups. So the more that you upgrade this build down the road, the more takeovers that you're going to get. But realistically, man, as long as you use that custom takeover, that's going to be the best option to go with. And you can choose any attributes to upgrade from there, man. You know, whether you want it to be the 3-pointer. And that's another thing that I forgot to mention is that I would use 5 cap breakers put towards the 3-pointer, and that's going to allow you to get limitless range on the bronze tier. So we have that max cap to be able to, you know, not only be a threat from 3-point range, but you still have, you're gonna be able to get some more takeovers from it, bro. So I gotta say, just focusing on getting those cap breakers, getting the max +1s and max +2s, and you're gonna be all set to go. So let's go ahead and move forward. And I just want to say thank y'all so much for those of you who made it to the very end. And as you can see, I'm introducing to y'all the Edge Enforcing Bulldozer, the 34th build that we've created together on this channel. And if you did make it to the very end, man, let's go ahead and get at least 25 likes on this video. I know that we can do it. I appreciate all of the new supporters. And I just want y'all to know that none of this would be possible without y'all, the rich family, and of course, number one above everything, Jesus Christ, bro. So thank y'all once again. I got another video coming for y'all this upcoming week, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you know. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. God bless you, and Rich out.